I'm being joined tonight by a political economist and a member of the APC, Mr. Ayo Oyalo, who is here with me in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Oyalo, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Welcome back from your sack.
Indeed. and also, I'm being joined by a former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Dachong Bagos, a member of the PDP. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Yeah, good evening, Nigeria. Well, Shehun, they said welcome back home. We thought that you did protest too, so welcome back.
All right, that's on a lighter note. But let me just grab your attention now that I have it, Honorable Bagos. You are of the opinion, when I was having a pre-chat with you about this protest, you are of the opinion that this protest should be allowed to go on. Why?
Well, it's not even about allowing the protest to go on, because whenever there is an echo for protests, Shehun, and an echo for people trying to voice out, there are two things. There's demand for accountability, demand for transparency. And so when people are talking about protests, it's not that just because they want to go to the streets. They are demanding for accountability, demanding for transparency. And the way government is going about it, it's where I have a problem with. Instead of talking about no protest, instead of talking about this and that, I expect that there should be civic engagement at this very particular moment, because a lot of Nigerians feel and are now taking it upon that, look, the social contract that they have with government has been broken. So if the social contract on the issue of good governance, on issue of leadership, on issue of agriculture, the issue of insecurity, if that social contract, people no longer feel confidence in. So by now, government's supposed to have civic engagement with youth, with women, with everybody, the way they did campaign to get into office. That's the way of engagement government should take, because the echo for protest is the echo for transparency, accountability, and good governance. So that is what we expect from government at this very particular moment, because it is at that very particular point when that civic engagement is carried out, everybody will voice out his mind, and everybody will say, look, you have failed. Everybody, government will say, well, this is what we are doing, and this, not that to say that, look, no protest, not that to say that, well, machineries. How come that it's now that government know that there is foreign machineries? Where have they been able to identify the people, that where are the machineries that have been killing our people on the plateau for many years? Where are the machineries that have invaded Borno and other parts of the country in terms of insecurity? But because of protests, they have been able to identify mercenaries. We need further discussion on that. Government need to come out clean and clear to really say, look, gentlemen, we have not been able to keep to our campaign promises, but this is what we are.
But Honorable, just remember, are you suggesting that the government of the day is not communicating, is not relating,
Absolutely.
is not connecting with the people?
No, it is not communicating. Even with you, with your child at home, if you see that your child is not doing what you're supposed to do, instead of telling the child that, look, do it this way, but you start spanking the child, and the child will just be crying, look, I'm supposed to have cake, but you are forcing me to take water. It's not water I want, it's cake. And you have not communicated to the child that, look, this is the reason why he should take water at this particular point in time. Is it that it's because of his health? Or is it that because of the cake is not available? And so on and so forth.
But do you think also, because just do you think and imagine that those who are arguing that it is, why isn't it too early in the day to start protesting for a government that just spent nearly a year in office?
No. This is when the APC government got into power, they promised continuity. So if they promise continuity, this is not a new government as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's a new leadership, but it's the same APC government with the same policies that nothing has changed. So continuity of what they have been doing, it's what they have promised. The APC administration have promised us continuity. So if you are continuing from what you're, so 1 year is not about a year. And by the way, Seun, 1 year, 2 years is enough to give proper leadership. We all know we're in the political space that next year campaigns will start. So what has happened in the first 1 or 2 years of the administration or anybody in power? I was in office. I knew what I was able to do within 1 and 2 years. And all of us, we know the third year starts to talk. So this is an issue of, look, the ball needs to keep rolling.
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining what the president said. Early in the day, he said he's about making a huge reforms. And on the fourth day, he made such a dramatic and such a huge decision about the economy. And he has warned, he said, some of the decisions of his government are going to be so tough and it's going to be hard because they will be far-reaching, and in the end, they will be effective to turn around the economy and the lives of Nigerians, but it will be like the pain of childbirth. Isn't that kind of warning that should have prepared the minds of Nigerians rather than go to the street? I imagine that that's going to be what is on the mind of the president, that I warned you that there's going to be pain, but you need to give me chance. Should the president be giving some time? Maybe 2.5 years, maybe 2 years. I'm just asking. I'm just saying. And I mean, that's perhaps what is going on in the mind of the government of the day.
Sharon, every woman knows that child labor is painful. But for the woman to survive, she needs proper attention, proper antenatal, proper hospital care for her to deliver safely. But yes, we know that every reform or any tough reform might be harshful, as the president had warned Nigerians. But what were the economic planning of those reforms? That is where we have a problem with that. Look, the economic hardship is everywhere in the world, Shaun. But when you go to other developed countries or even underdeveloped countries, people that were working 3 hours are now working 6 hours. Jobs are available for them to be able to meet up to the economic challenges. But here we are, the jobs are not available, inflation is skyrocketing, everything is not being controlled, the economic planning, we don't even have economic database that, look, this is the social incentive that we're giving. Are we giving to who? But you now have the social incentives that are being given out. It's either they are being given, everybody will now corner his people that we are giving only to APC members, and now PDP members that are in the same community are now scrambling for the same incentive. So these are issues that, look, what is the economic planning that we have in terms of the hardship that we are facing? When you go to the UK today, there are people that are receiving 20 pounds, 10 pounds to be able to meet up the economic hardship. It's not about they are labor or they are conservatives. Go to the US today. There are people that are receiving economic incentives. They are not Republicans, neither are they being identified as Democrats. They are citizens of the United States of America.
All right,
so why can't we have economic reforms as Nigerians to Nigerians of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? So to me, the economic reforms has a very big fault in the sense that we don't have accurate database to be able to give incentives to who deserves what.
Honorable Bagos, let me pause it for a moment and turn my attention to Mr. Oyalo, a former banker and an political economist. Give us a sense, because you study the behavior of man as to commodities, its prices, and the needs to man. So essentially, that's what you've done. And if the people of Nigeria, most of them who are saying they're going to the street to protest against the government of the day, you are a member of the political party, the APC. It does mean one thing. There might be some kind of unpopularity of your party going on at the moment, and that the fact that the policy of government is not yielding the right results.
Thank you, Sean. I think we need to put it in context. And I taking time to come here to really speak to these issues. And I'll start by saying, if you are looking at a development plan, there must be a process. And like you rightly said when you were asking your question, it comes with some kind of pain, some kind of difficulty. And I'll use the American model as an example here. In development, there are two things that are very important: education and labor/reward. Now, when the American recession, the Great Depression actually happened in 1929, it went on for a few years till about 1939 when they came out. Then the World War came in and all matter. And then when it ended, the first thing America did, they realized that they had a problem with education. So the first thing they did was education. And how did they do that? Say, let's take the burden away from the family. So that was what birthed what you call the educational loan in America. So that loan means the first one started, I think, around 1955 or 53. Now, when you have a student loan, first thing they did is it takes away the burden from your parent. We have seen situations where we go on to crowdfund to pay people's school fees. Just today, Dr. Temi Harriman wrote this tweet, and if you permit me, I will read it. He said, "My student shed tears this morning when they informed me that his student loan has been paid. He's from Kogi State, but his school's in Kano. I could not fight back tears. We were contemplating how he was going to pay his behemoth. He's in medicine." I'm reading exactly what he wrote. "I was already thinking of making an arrangement to offer 50% of the amount because the school portal will close tonight, only to hear this pleasant news." Now, what I'm saying is this. When you do a student loan system, you've taken the burden away from the family. Even if you are an orphan, for instance, educational loan means you don't need, and the American educational loan does not even offer what you call stipends. This one offers. I'm trying to let you see what this government.
So you are relating to what the government is
just
doing.
Let me go on. Let me go on. So today the burden is taken away, and I said labor and reward. Now, just last week, Labour and the federal government came to an agreement of 70,000 naira. Now, what that has done is, as a father, we all know nobody earns 70,000 in the civil service. Nobody does that because the entry point for civil service is about level 4 thereabout. So, which means a man who is a normal man, I'm trying to use a normal person now, because you're not very wealthy, you have just 2 children, you can send them to primary and secondary school. And if they intended to go further, or they intend to go further, the university burden has been taken off them. Now, I'm trying to let people see what this government has done, because it looks like they have done nothing, because people are not able to relate these things together. Now, when you look at this, what that has done is that it has given the family some breather. And now, let's now relate that to what happened with the local government funding. Now, you will have your local government getting money. You can know how much comes to the local government. When we are younger, you know what we used to have local government bursaries for students. So you see that what this government is doing is building a system. It might not happen immediately, but it is building a system. The local government will be able to come down to the level of people in terms of development. These are things that are missing that we didn't have. So what President Bola Tinubu is doing is creating a system where everything works eventually for the common man. So now, when we put that on the side, you now ask yourself, what are the issues today? The issue today is food. Now, if you look at the development plan of President Bola Tinubu, like I've been really enumerated now, he has put in place something that will work even beyond his own tenure. Now, we have a lot of agitation in terms of food. We are hungry, but nobody is asking these simple questions. The previous administration spent billions, if not trillions, on anchor borrower. Today, we are shouting hunger. It's not just one, it's just about a year. So what has happened? What happened is that, one, there has been mismanagement in that sector. But the biggest challenge is that our state governors are not doing their job. For instance, ask yourself a question. I was in Kano during the times of Governor Ganduje. This man invested massively in irrigation farming so that you can have, recently, just about a month, 2 months ago, we had tomato going to the roof about as high as 150,000. Now it has come down. So as to remove this kind of cyclic and seasonal problem, if we develop irrigation farming, it will have curbed this seasonal hunger we always suffer. But unfortunately, when successors come into office, for instance, also Kebbi State was doing so much in rice. I don't know what is happening now. So currently now, we need to sit down and ask ourselves a question. Is it going on the street that will solve the problem, or looking at it holistically? People who want to go.
How do Nigerians? So, I mean, I've allowed you to be able to explain and give a picture of what the government of the day is doing that might not be so vivid now in the minds of a lot of Nigerians, but according to you, they are structural. They are deep into the root of our systems and our institutions in Nigeria. But the question is that food inflation is reaching through the roof.
No, it's going to come down.
No, but no, we are not speculating on what will happen.
But just
a moment. We're talking about what we can see now. Food inflation, headline inflation. It's almost about 10 points higher than what we have last year.
Yeah.
Just a little bit above 20% headline inflation. Food inflation has gotten almost at the same level they are growing.
What created that is this.
Food prices are growing astronomically.
I'll tell you what.
The purchasing power of the average person is increasing. When you say they do not need to protest, what then would they do?
No, what creates the food inflation is simple. Transportation cost is part of the challenge. Now, that's why I was talking about structure. This government created what you call the CNG buses system. Now, it is to help public transport.
But we have not seen those.
That is where I'm going. The government has released so much fund. That's why I came here. Fund and fund and fund to states. What Nigerians should be asking is, what are our governors doing? Because the federal government, like I always tell people, does not own an inch of land in Nigeria. Now, everybody say we are going on protest. But you look at it. What are we doing to actually solve the problem? Food inflation is high because transportation cost is higher because of the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, the president has released fund and fund and fund to states. What I would have been expecting people to do is to be asking our governors, what have you done with this and so funding? Nobody is asking this question. So going to now destroy more infrastructure, because we know what this will end up in. I was alive during the NSAS. It started well. I was even part of those who were piloting it like every other normal person before we realized that it was hijacked. So the fear about protest is that ask questions. And I will ask this, I will also say this. When you say you want to do a protest, the essence of a protest is to bring attention to an agitation. It is clear now that whatever you are agitating for has been noted in the corridors of power. They are already addressing. So the protest is no longer important or needed because you have caught their attention. But now if you say you are going for more protests, these are the problems. They say end bad governance, days of rage. Now you say release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, remove the Senate, cancel it. These are not sensible requests.
Well, maybe that's a version that you have. There are other versions that are online.
No, those are the confusion. Yeah. Now, these are the issues. So what exactly do you want to be addressed? What do you want to be addressed?
So there are other ones that are versions that are on air. The reversal of the petrol pump price. And they are saying, take it back to 100 now liter.
Who will fund it? These are the reality. Who will fund it?
But you have said that cost of transportation is responsible for food inflation. So if you reduce
you don't have to reduce price. What you have to do is work on the CNG model. There are testimonies that are bound that people have cut transport fare or transport cost by over 60% if you move from petrol to the CNG system. These are the challenges. Now we're having problem with our refineries. We know clearly that none of the 4 refineries are working. Unfortunately, there are staff working in those places and nobody's asking questions. Why are they collecting salary? Now, a regulator can now come forward to tell us that a private refinery is wrong. Meanwhile, there are allegations that this same man, Ahmed Farouk, owns something in Malta. These are issues that I expect we should be asking questions about, and we should be saying without equivocation that the DSS, the ICPC, the EFCC should not sweep under the carpet. So if we have a regulator who is not helping the matter but is exacerbating it, those are supposed to be the question. Ahmed Farouk and people like him need to be questioned, because clearly these are the saboteurs that Nigerians should be looking at.
Allegedly, because you don't have all of the facts.
I don't have all the facts. I just give an example. I said, look,
it's alleged.
It's an allegation.
It's not
they allege they own a fuel station. I don't know if it is true, but what I am saying is that the regulator should never come I mean, the president has been all over the world looking for investors. And the regulator now went on air to destroy the largest investor in Nigeria, making it a caricature. We are not helping ourselves.
All right.
So these are the questions that
What
should
would
be
you
asking.
say should be the way forward? Because it looks like
No.
the organizers are bent on going
The
on
way
this
forward for me, if I'm going to be advising, is that bring your agitation together. Now, I brought this, you said there are other ones.
Yeah,
So those are the confusions. Let whoever are their leaders sit down and put this in a codified manner, in a reasonable issue. I mean, all of us knows that some things here can never be done. The constitution must be removed or must be changed for you to cancel the Senate, for instance. You said revert fuel price to 100. It can't happen because who will fund it? Right now, for the first time in how many years, we have been able to reach 68% of our earnings, of ratio of revenue to paying off debt. Before we had 97% of everything coming was being used for debt servicing. So the government is working very hard. We should not allow a little bit of discomfort to destroy all
It's not a little bit.
But I'm in Nigeria.
You're a big man living in Abuja. There are a lot of
I just gave you an example that some of this food
inflation
could not
feed. So
this food inflation
is not a little bit.
No, this food
There's
inflation.
a whole lot of suffering out there.
This food inflation you mentioned, I gave you an example. Just 2 months ago, a basket of tomato was 150,000 naira. As we speak today, it's 45,000. So that is what I'm saying. Some of these things are cyclic. So if we have continuity of agricultural program and plans, we will not be having these cyclical inflations.
All right. Let me allow Honorable Vargas to give. What is the way forward from your own point of view? You heard the explanation.
Sure.
The effort of government. And I asked the question. Yes, on one hand, rather, when you're angry about the situation of the country, but on the other hand, you look at what is the government doing. Should the government be given some chance to be able to get things right? Your own final thought.
Yeah, Sean, since any government official that is being elected in office, from the first day you have been elected and you start you're being sworn in, that is the first chance that you've been given to execute your assignment to the next to finish its the next 4 years. And you want to talk about the economy. I'm not an economist, but then clearly this is something that we all know. That if you want to talk about that Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, how have we taken advantage of that? If we are talking of foreign direct investors, today, if an investor wants to come into Nigeria with 100 billion, he will not be able to do that. Put all the capital base of all Nigerian banks is not up to 100 billion. So Zenith Bank is the only bank that has about 46 billion or thereabout. Today, he has talked about the refinery. Dangote refinery is about 16 to 20 billion. But we have potentials in this country that government have not yet opened and given the enabling environment to be able to explore. When it comes to even production, I expect that. Look, now that we are talking about exploration, go up to the north, come up to Plateau. We have potentials to drill more crude oil around the country. When you talk, I was part of the committees. I now know that, look, the Port Harcourt refinery, which I saw myself, it's something that is already to start refining by this August. I was part of that committee, and I was part of the committee and the Ninth Assembly that we have been able to brought PIA. These are enabling environments.
All right, Honorable, we need to go now. Yeah, let me allow just in about 30 seconds if you can give your final thought.
Yeah, in my own final assessment, like I said, debt to revenue ratio is now much more better than it was. The development plan is taking shape, even though people are not seeing it. I would just advise the government that we need to engage more with the people. This kind of explanation need to be done in a more broader way. We should have more of engagement with Nigerians, because clearly the structure that President Tinubu is building for Nigeria is a superstructure that will even outlast him. We all remember the structure of Awolowo. Awolowo has died, but they will tell you that the western region of those days to today seems to be the most educated region simply because of what he built. So this is what Ashwaju is doing. So we need to give him a chance, but beyond giving him a chance, there must be more engagement. I think most of the problem this government has suffered is in terms of communication and engagement with
All right.
Nigerians. We need to do
Ayayalo,
more.
thank you so much. And Honorable Bagos, thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for talking to me tonight on this program.